This past weekend was TNA Genesis 2026, and I want to do a review video today of that event, but I want to start off with talking about the broadcast in general. I don't like starting off these reviews so negatively, but the fact that, for me personally, I know that one of my mates, he didn't get it as bad as I did, but the broadcast kept cutting out like all the time for me. There was a point where I think I got to 10 to 15 plus times where I was having to refresh the page, watch a match, then it will cut off, and then it will cut off during entrances, and then it will cut off during announcements, and then sometimes I'll be able to get through a full match. Sometimes I'd have to refresh it during a match because it just completely went blank screen, and then it wouldn't continue. There was just a picture of whatever I last saw. It was really, really annoying throughout, to a point where I actually stopped watching Genesis and turned on to watch AEW's Collision instead. And yeah, it's really frustrating because I want to be invested in TNA. I want to watch it every week. I want to watch every PLE. I want to watch every TNA Plus event. But if the broadcast is gonna mess up every time because they're not used to having the amount of people on the app all at the same time, then it's gonna cause people issues and it's gonna cause disinterest. So yeah, very disappointed just to start the pay-per-view because I couldn't watch all of it at once. I've had to wait until like the day after to watch the 3 matches that I missed. But yeah, so not the best way to start the review. I just thought I'd mention it. But yeah, the fact that I had to turn TNA off to watch AEW isn't the best way to start a year as far as pay-per-view goes. But instead, hopefully it's not a consistent thing and they can fix it for next time. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they fix it. But yeah, it really did annoy me, the fact that I had to turn it off because it was literally just unwatchable. So starting off with the opening match, which was AJ Francis defeating Rich Swann, and yeah, this was a good match. It was a decent way to start the night. I do think TNA should take more advantage of AJ Francis' dislikability more, maybe even make him a champion. I assumed that First Class were going to eventually win the tag team titles, and now they've disbanded, or at least like this version of First Class is disbanded. But I feel like AJ Francis might make a good international or X Division champion, just so they can, as I say, take more advantage of his unlikability. And yeah, I feel like he'd make a great heel champion. I do forget how good Rich Swann is. He's such a smooth, like a smooth transitional wrestler, and yeah, everything he does is like very fluid motion wise, and yeah, he's really, really fun to watch. I'd say that AJ Francis is probably one of the best heels in TNA right now. I know they've got like the big heels like Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian, but I feel like no one gets consistently booed and booed massively quite like AJ Francis does. Francis hit a quality Styles Clash, and because of his how do I put it without being really harsh? Just because he weighs more, essentially. Like the Styles Clash will be more effective because of how they land. He lands straight on the back. I feel like that's really good. There was an awesome Destroyer reversal of the second attempt of the Styles Clash from Rich Swann, which was done really, really well. And yeah, personally, I see Swann as like more of an established star in TNA. So Francis winning made like total sense to me. You can give him a push further up the card a little bit. I know he's had like World Championship matches, X Division Championship matches before. But yeah, I feel like this could be a year where Francis does win himself some gold. I feel like it'll be really fun to watch to see him as a champion. And yeah, I think Rich Swann is just a solid wrestler to have on the roster anyway. I don't feel like he's going to do much in TNA other than maybe put people over and just have really good matches. But yeah, no, this was a really good way to start the show and a decent match to start off. Following that, we have Mustafa Ali defeat Elijah in another decent match. It was about as good as the opening match, in my opinion, but Mustafa Ali continues to show how he is the best out-and-out pure wrestler on the roster. I feel like, again, he's a guy that has the inability to have a bad match. He's someone who consistently is good. He's kind of like the mid-card Seth Rollins of TNA, where he like can't have a bad match with anybody. And yeah, I can't wait for him to start pushing more towards the main event scene to become the actual Seth Rollins of TNA. And yeah, I think him as world champion is something I definitely want to see in 2026. And yeah, overall the match was fine. It was, again, I don't really know what else to say. I haven't got much to say on this one. It kind of went how I expected it. Order 4 ended up getting a little distraction in. It was a fun finish with Tasha yeah, Sasha Steele's kind of getting involved and almost getting taken out, and then that led to Mustafa Ali getting the win. I like how he's just a great wrestler who also uses his group to get the win, so he's working smarter instead of harder. And yeah, overall the match was really good, very order 4 kind of finish, as I've said, but yeah, I mean, the best wrestler of the match won. I'm not a big Elijah guy, like I wasn't a massive Elias guy in WWE. But yeah, for me, Mustafa Ali needed to win this one, and he did, which I'm very happy with. And yeah, hopefully this leads to a more main event, just pushing him more into main event scene pretty much. After that, we had Eddie Edwards defeat JDC in JDC's retirement match, and this was an okay match. Not gonna lie, it was probably the weakest match of the card so far to this point. Trust me, it was not the weakest match of the card overall. Yeah, it never felt like Dango was going to win. It always felt like Eddie Edwards was going to win this one. I liked the ending with the multiple finishes really putting over Dango. It made him look strong in defeat, even though they didn't need to make him look strong in defeat. It did, like, it kind of served its purpose to make Dango look good, and yeah, I mean, it was fine. I like the callback to Chris Jericho that Dango did during the match, doing the code breaker and the walls of Jericho, calling back to probably the biggest win of his entire career when he debuted at WrestleMania 29 and beat Chris Jericho. But yeah, it was fine. It was a nice moment at the end with all the people, the roster coming out and clapping him and him high-fiving the fans and having a moment with Eddie Edwards. But yeah, said it was fine. It was a kind of classic retirement situation, and yeah, so the match was fine. It wasn't great. Like I'd say, probably like my top 3 worst matches of the night. So yeah, it kind of, I said, it served a purpose. It was fine for what it was. It just wasn't that enjoyable in my opinion. Following that, Ryan Nemeth defeated Marasade, and yeah, this was bad. This was really bad. Yeah, not a great load happened. It was kind of just a classic intergender match. Ryan was trying to like kind of sneak away from Sade for a bit, and then once they got into it, it was fine overall. There has been much better intergender matches in TNA. Yeah, Nemeth cheated to win, which kind of sucked, as he didn't really need to cheat to win this one. But I suppose it's his character. Like the only thing that kind of is the only thing I can really take away from this is Ryan Nemeth is really good at character work. People hate him. He knows people hate him, so he's just a prick all the time, which, again, is fine. He plays that really well and does it to a degree where I generally dislike him, which is the point. I would have preferred seeing Sade win this one, naturally, but I said it was fine. I really think that Sade should be challenging for the Knockouts World Championship instead of going into intergender stuff. This really did seem really random when it did start on Impact. But yeah, I said, hopefully soon Sade will be in the Knockouts division. Ryan Nemeth can do whatever Ryan Nemeth does. But yeah, this really wasn't a pay-per-view quality match, and it was by far the weakest match on the card. Following that, we saw Lei Ying Lee defeat Zarya to retain the Knockouts Championship, and this was great. I thought this was the best match of the night from that point. I thought it was the best match of the night overall. I very much enjoyed it. I thought these two worked really well together, and I'd probably say this is one of the best Zarya matches I've seen her have since debuting in NXT. And yeah, she doesn't wrestle as often as I would actually prefer. She kind of more doing stuff for Sol Rucker instead of doing stuff for herself, which is a bit of a shame, but it's fine for the most part. I said I would very much like to see Zarya wrestle more often, but she controlled the match for the first half, with it evening out more in the second half of the match. Lee struggled against the power game of Zarya throughout, but used her strikes, her precision strikes, as I put in my notes, to get back into it. Zarya has a wicked spear, depending on who's taking it, like Kendall Gray took it really well, Lei Ying Lee took it really well here, and I can imagine Sol's going to sell the hell out of it whenever the turn happens, whichever way the turn happens. But yeah, I don't mind the rep bump here. It worked to a degree. It kind of sets up the fact that they kind of given away the result of the match on NXT this week, where I assume that Zaruka will defeat the other team, Ren QCC and Fatal Influence, to get the Knockouts Tag Team title match, because the Elegance brand interfered here. But I'm fine. It's not a massively important match, no offense to the Knockouts Tag Division, so I'm not massively concerned about the result more or less being given away, unless they cost them the Triple Threat match, which would probably be better off. But yeah, it was a nice final sequence. As I did expect Lei Ying Lee to retain here. I don't think they give Zarya the title on a last-minute decision. I would have much preferred to see Dani Luna in this position and win the championship, as I explained in my predictions video. Hopefully, Dani Luna will get her shot at maybe No Surrender or Sacrifice coming up over the next couple of months, once the visa stuff's all sorted out. But yeah, this was really good. I very much enjoyed it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing who Lei Lee faces next. Obviously, Elena Black seems to be the setup for No Surrender, so maybe Dani Luna gets sorted out for a title match at Sacrifice. But yeah, it was a decent match. I look forward to seeing Lee versus Elena, and yeah, this was a really, really good match, and my match of the night. After that, we had the Hardys successfully defend the World Tag Team Championships against the Righteous, and this was fine. It wasn't great. Match-wise, it was just a standard run-of-the-mill tag team match. Nothing about this really blew me away. Nothing about this felt any different to what would happen on an Impact match, what would happen at any other time for a tag team match. The Righteous are a team I quite like, and I was kind of really hoping they were going to find success for it. Well, I'm hoping they're going to find success in TNA, but I was hoping they were going to win the titles here because I desperately want the Hardys to lose the World Tag Team Championships. They are clearly way past their time, and I kind of want to see them head more towards the door now than stay on as champions. The fact that they've had a combined 200 plus day reign in 2025 as World Tag Team Champions seems mental to me, as really they should be putting teams over rather than beating them for the tag team titles, but it is what it is. The match was fine. It was very basic as far as tag team wrestling goes. Hopefully the Righteous get another shot. The fact that they said during the match that they like to get hurt makes me feel like they might do some kind of stipulation match at some point, maybe a Full Metal Mayhem, or that's where the Righteous get the title win. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I'm getting used to being disappointed by the Hardys as far as tag team matches go. So yeah, just really want the titles off the Hardys now. Following that, we had Joe Hendry defeat Moose and Cedric Alexander in a triple threat match that was supposed to be an X Division title match with Leon Slater, but due to visa issues, he could not be on the show. And yeah, this was a really good match. One of the best of the night. I'd probably say it was second best match of the night. I really much enjoyed it. Hendry stole the win, which I really didn't expect. It's not a very babyface thing to steal a victory, especially in just a throwaway triple threat match. I felt like they maybe could have given the win to somebody else, which we will get to. But respect to Moose, who took one hell of a bump. Like the bump that he took, the the backdrop onto these steel steps, knowing he has a back injury, or at least not a back injury, but has a history of back injuries, if you will. Holy shit, no wonder everyone surrounded him immediately, but luckily he was okay and he carried on the match, and it kind of added to the story of the match, which was really good as well. But yeah, respect to him nonetheless for taking that bump. It was very Darby Allin type thing for a guy of his stature and history with injuries. But yeah, no, I really liked the suplex sequence. Moose did a superplex to Hendry. He then reversed it into a standard suplex. And then Cedric Alexander did a splash onto Hendry as he landed. And yeah, that was a really cool part of the match. Just a very small detail that I noticed. When Moose did a sit-down powerbomb to Cedric Alexander, he kind of contorted his body so he landed on his upper to mid-back instead of his lower back / coccyx, which is one of those minor things where it's of course he wouldn't want to land on his lower back because that's where his injury or where he's hurt. So yeah, it makes sense that he slightly contorted his body to make sure that he didn't land on that part so we could carry on the match. I thought really small details like that I thought were really cool. We saw another tribute to AJ Styles with Cedric Alexander doing a Styles Clash to Moose. But personally, I think that Cedric probably should have won this match. The way I see it is Moose and Joe Hendry are not only established in TNA, but are incredibly established. These guys are, in their own times, were Mr. TNA. So here it would have helped Cedric Alexander become more established in TNA. I know that he's established all over the world, but I still feel like he's quite new to TNA, and this would have massively helped him, especially more towards being a threat for the X Division Championship, which I can't wait to see him versus Leon Slater in one-on-one, let alone if they do the triple threat match that was supposed to happen. And yeah, this match was really good, and I expect the match that was originally supposed to happen to be very good as well. I'd say it was probably my second best match of the night. Very surprised that Hendry got the win though. And finally, in the main event, Mike Santana defeated Frankie Kazarian in a Texas death match with Nick Nemeth as special guest referee. And first of all, the rules. A pinfall and then a 10 count. What? Like, it was so confusing. Like, especially, like, for someone who, like, as I said in the starting part, that kept crashing out, so I kind of missed, the broadcast that is, kept crashing out. That I kind of missed the introduction, so I missed the rules being said. So when I saw Mike Santana pin Frankie Kazarian, I was like, oh cool, the match is over. And then he started counting to 10, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I know this is like, we shouldn't compare it to AEW and stuff, but in AEW, it's submission or knockout. Maybe a pinfall if absolutely needed, but a pinfall and then a 10 count is ridiculous and really extends the time period of which, you know, you then could win the match. Because essentially, like, we're supposed to believe it's a 13-second period of winning a match, because it's 3 seconds for the count and 10 seconds for the count out. But yeah, pinfall and then count is very, very weird. Very TNA, if anything. Nemeth did fine as referee. He didn't really play a role like where the concentration was taken away from the match onto him until the very last second where he did the turn, obviously. The match was good. I expected great, and it wasn't really intense enough in my opinion. When it comes to Texas Death, I expect things to be really intense between opponents. This, even though this feud had been going on for a while, it just didn't feel intense at all. Like, it really didn't make much sense. The power driver onto the chairs was really cool. The spot with the cutter onto the table was cool as well. There was the frog splash table spot that was like the closest 2.99999 count I think I've seen in a while. If anything, Nemeth definitely hit a 3 and then he kicked out in a typical Hogan way, brother. But yeah, very little blood as well, especially for the amount of barbed wire that was used. He used a barbed wire bat, and Mike Santana did his finisher with barbed wire wrapped around his arm, and yeah, there was just practically no blood, which made no sense because it's barbed wire. It literally pierces the skin as soon as you come into bloody contact with it. And the finish itself, the finish was really bad, like really bad. Kazarian was very clearly on his feet when like 9, and then he just fell over, and Nemeth counted to the 10. It was really shit. It reminded me of the finish of Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch in their last woman standing match at Evolution, where these people are clearly on their feet, but they've counted 10 anyway because they fell down afterwards. I hate these kind of finishes because it ruins the whole concept of last man standing. And yeah, they should just either stay down or get up and continue, and then do something that would definitely put someone down for a 10 count. But yeah, to have someone literally get to their feet and then still count the 10 is stupid, and I hate it every time they do it. But I'm glad that Santana won the match. I expected a lot more out of this one, so I'm a bit disappointed. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match though. I mean, I know I've been very negative about stuff, but it was a decent match. It was probably the 3rd best match on the card behind the triple threat and the women's match. But yeah, I mean, we saw Nick Nemeth do the tease of calling a shot. That was fully expected. I definitely expected that to happen. I was hoping that he was going to call a shot and then fail, because I hate the fact that Nick Nemeth, who doesn't need to be TNA World Champion at this point, is casting a shadow over the World Championship scene because you don't know when he's going to use it. And then we're about to do Feast and Fire this Thursday on Impact, so there's going to be another person with a world title match at any point. So hopefully they give that to somebody who is fully deserving of it, and someone who can, essentially just somebody younger. That's what I'm asking for. It's just somebody who has the potential of being a world champion. They can kind of get to that point. Also, I feel like we haven't done an option C in a while, and it would be really cool to see Leon Slater try the option C thing. But yeah, overall, the match was good. There was just a lot of confusing parts to it. The finish was absolutely crap, and the rules just completely lost me. But yeah, I said overall it was a fine match, but let's say overall though, I am glad that Mike Santana is still world champion and didn't screw him over again like they did originally. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what Santana does as world champion. I'm hoping he moves away from Kazarian and Nick Nemeth, and he can feud with new people going into the new year. So yeah, hopefully he'll be okay. But yeah, kind of confusing and disappointed was what I was left after the main event. So those are my thoughts and opinions on TNA Genesis 2026. Very weird pay-per-view. Obviously, part of the experience got taken away by the fact that the broadcast just kept cutting out. But overall, it was fine. TNA have done much worse pay-per-views in the past, but this isn't the best way to start. Nothing really blew me away on the card. Nothing felt like it was massive. There was a few really good matches, like, say, the main event was fine for the most part, but the triple threat and the Knockouts World title match were very good. But yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot better quality-wise out of TNA in the future. Obviously, that is asking. Some people might say I'm asking for a lot there, but I really don't think I am. I feel like the roster is fine. They just need to get people healthy and need to start bringing people in. But yeah, so what did you think of the pay-per-view overall? Do put it down in the comments below. I am interested to see everyone's take on this one, as it's kind of, I've seen mixed reviews on this one. But yeah, I'm interested in what people have to say. Do like if you enjoyed the review. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up on the channel soon as far as the Royal Rumble goes. Next week, there's going to be a prediction video for Saturday night's main event, and then there's going to be predictions and coverage of the Royal Rumble the week after. There's a video coming about... there's going to be... there's going to be my top 10 matches from the Royal Rumble and my top 10 Royal Rumble matches lists coming up, and an update from last year's lists, so you can see like where matches change as far as my opinion goes. So do look out for those coming up on the channel. And yeah, there'll also be my thoughts on Unreal Season 2 as that comes out in a couple of days, so do look out for that as well. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.